Hey, can you remember multiple different items for me about my client named John? John is a pilot. John owns his own charter business and he lives in Denver, Colorado. There we go. We've got some information coming into our spreadsheet. Let's check it out. There's our new record. John is a pilot, owns his own charter business, and lives in Denver, Colorado. We can come in, add some more stuff. John is looking for automations to streamline his business, specifically email automation and client lead generation. Awesome. And we've got our list building out in Telegram just like that. John has a golden retriever named Dixie. John likes to skydive in his free time and has over 500 jumps. Based on what you know about John, can you draft up an email to him asking how things are going with work and how things are going at home? There we go. Got that email. Hope this message finds you well. Just wanted to check in and see how things are going with your charter business. Have you any new developments or feedback on the automations we discussed? How are things at home? I imagine Dixie keeps things lively. So basic example here, you can tune up something like this as an output however you want, but really showcasing the power of saving memories in this system with a simple input like voice or text. Very incredible to have at your side just as a personal assistant. Hey guys, my name is Isla. This is the first video that Kirk has let me make on my own, so I hope you enjoy it. We have a school community called Digital Automation Diagram. The primary focus of this community is to teach you AI automation. Kirk now has a module detailing how to create AI avatars like me, set up all the automations where I can post social media content. I can create my own content, edit my own content, and post it to social media. Check out the link in the description below. For now, let's dive into this step-by-step tutorial. I'm going to be showing you how to build an AI agent. It's basically an input memory tool, meaning you can type into it, you can speak into it, and just remember anything you want. So let's dive in. Okay, let's get right into it. We're going to start off with a Telegram trigger node. Just going to create a new node, type in Telegram, and we can scroll down to find a trigger. Doesn't really matter what trigger we choose here. I'll select the first one. Now here is where we can decide which trigger we actually want to use. And if I click a little start here, this will use all of the triggers in this list, whatever comes in. Now we can set up a credential right here. I'm gonna click this drop down, click on create new credential, and we're gonna jump over to Telegram to set up a new Telegram bot. Right, I'm in my Telegram account. We need to start a conversation with this bot right here. You can come up into the search bar, type in bot father, find bot father, click on start to begin the conversation with this bot. And now we've got these commands here. We can start with this first one. So first one we need is new bot. Click on that. That'll pop in the command and we'll get set up right away with creating this bot. So I'm going to name this bot GS Memory Demo. Send that off. Now we need to come up with the username for this bot. So I'll just copy this one, GS Memory Demo, but this cannot have any spaces, and we need to include the word bot somewhere in there. So I'll say bot. Send that off. There we go. We can start a conversation with the new bot right here. We're going to grab this API key, click on that to copy it, jump back into n8n, paste the API key right there, and I'll name this connection, same thing as the bot. Click save, close this window, and now we've got our new Telegram connection. I'm gonna click outside of the node here. Let's come up to save the workflow. Click the plus to create the next node. You type in switch to find the switch node. And we're gonna set up two different routes, one for receiving text messages via Telegram and one for receiving audio message via Telegram. So this first one will be text. We'll actually map in the text value in here after we test the Telegram trigger. For now, add the placeholder value, then we can drop this down, say string exists. If text exists, we'll come down this route. Click rename output. We can name it text. Click add routing rule. This will be for the audio. We can have the placeholder value there. Click on the drop down, say string exists. If audio exists, we'll come down this route. We can rename it audio. I'll click outside of the node. For the text route, I'll click and drag the handle here, drop that down, type in set to find the edit fields node. We'll get as far as we can before actually testing this. So let's click outside of this node, click and drag the handle here for the audio route. We need another Telegram node. I'll type in Telegram. This will be get a file. We want to get a file using the same credential, and the file ID will come from the Telegram trigger. So that's about as far as we can get without passing data from Telegram. Cool, so this one is red. Probably won't let us run the workflow, so I'm going to toggle that one off for now. Save the workflow, and we can test both the text and the audio. Click test workflow. Telegram will wait for a trigger so we can jump back into Telegram. Start a conversation with the new bot right here, and click start. Now that is technically a text message, so that will trigger n8n. We can jump back into n8n. We see that operation went through. Double click back into this edit fields node, and we've got everything coming from Telegram. So we can grab a few things here. If you want any user information, we can grab first name. We can click and drag the last name into the next box. We can get the Telegram username, the Telegram chat ID right there. Just clicking and dragging all these values over. That looks pretty good, but most importantly, we're going to need the actual text. Let's grab the text right there and bring all this stuff over. So I'm just going to rename these fields, remove the dot, simplify everything here, rename all of these fields just like that, and click on test step. Now I'm in the table view. I'm going to switch it to the schema view for the output. We've got first name, last name, Telegram username, Telegram chat ID, and the text. Now we still have the chat ID nested inside of this object right there. So I'm going to rename this one more time, get rid of the chat and the period after that, and name it Telegram underscore chat underscore ID. Let's test the step again. That will remove that number from the object. Sometimes running down the automation chain, you'll run into issues with nested strings, nested numbers inside of objects, inside of arrays. We want, in this case, all of that top level data coming through. I'm gonna click outside the node. It's good, and save it. Now we can test the audio route. But first, let's name this node. Right click on it, quick rename, call it text. Let's trigger this audio route now. So we're going to have to rerun the Telegram trigger. I'm going to delete all of the testing data, click the trash can right here, click on test workflow. Let's jump into Telegram, and I can add an audio message here. Testing audio. Great. Let's jump back into n8n, and that one has triggered off. Now I'm not actually sure why it's running down the text route. It should be running down the audio route, but let's jump into the switch node and be more specific here. So yes, it looks like we actually forgot to dynamically add the text from the input to this field over here. So we'll do that now for the audio just to make sure that is functioning. Delete out our placeholder, and we can come down on the voice object. This is coming from our Telegram trigger node. Inside the voice object, we have a file ID. I'm going to click and drag the file ID into the first value here. Now we are saying if the file exists, run down the audio route. We didn't actually do that for the text route. That's okay. We can fix that in a little bit. So just to test it, I'm going to click and drag the 6 little dots right here up above. Now we have our audio route on top. Click on test step, click outside the node, and now we've got our wires crossed here. That's okay. We'll flip things back around when we fixed the text route. So I'm going to turn back on this Telegram node, double click into it. Now we need our file ID from over here. So I'm going to come back down to the voice object, click and drag the file ID, drop it down right there. Quick test step. Now we are successfully downloading that file from Telegram. Click the plus here to create the next node. We're going to use OpenAI to transcribe that audio. Grab that node. Now you need to set up your OpenAI credential right here. I have tutorials on this in the school community, so you can jump into the school community, check those out. For now, I'm just going to choose my credential, click test step, and there is the audio transcription, testing audio. That's what I sent with my voice message. I'm going to click outside of the node, and now we can plug this node into our text node, just like that. I'll rearrange my nodes a little bit just to make some space, and now we can fix the text problem over here. So I'm going to save the workflow, delete our testing data. Let's click on test workflow, jump into Telegram, and send a new message. Just say, hey, come back into n8n. Now that text wrap is going down, and we can uncross our wires right here. I'll double click into the switch node, drop the audio back down to the bottom, and you can see this part is red because we have no voice object coming through, so we have no file ID coming through. We do have text coming through. So I'm going to delete the placeholder value here, click and drag the text, drop it down right there. Now we're saying if text exists, run down this route. Cool. I'm gonna click outside the node. Now we've got our information coming into this text route. What I've been doing in this text field is a little strange, I think, but it's been working excellently. So let's go do that. We actually have to test with another audio just because we went back and fixed our text. So let's do that now. We click outside of this node, delete our testing data, test the workflow, come into Telegram, record another audio message. This is another audio message to run down the chain. Great, let's jump into n8n, and we can see that audio came through, got transcribed, and dumped into our text node right here. So you can see we're pulling the user information across, but we're not getting the audio transcription. So we need to grab that from the OpenAI node. Let's grab the text, drop that down right there. So now for the text, we'll either get the text message or the transcribed message. Let's quick test step. Now what's going on here is we made another mistake. We need to grab this information from Telegram, not from the switch node. So I'm going to delete out all of these expressions just like that, come back to the Telegram node and get all this information from the Telegram trigger. So I'm going to click and drag the first name, drop it down there, the last name, Telegram username, and Telegram chat ID. Now we can go ahead, test the step, and all that information comes through. We click outside the node. Let's save the workflow. All right, now we can click the plus here to create a new node. Type in set. We can find the edit fields node. Let's rename this node right away. Agent prompts. Click rename. Then we'll click into this node. Now we're going to have 3 sections in here. So I'm just going to go ahead and click in the area here to create 3 sections. You can section this off however you want, but these are going to be 3 different prompts to feed to our AI agent. So the first one is going to be how the agent handles tool use. You can name that prompt like that. Second one is going to be data handling. This is how the agent will handle the data. We'll add the prompt in the value here. And the last one is the agent behavior. Cool. So I'm going to go grab these prompts. I had all this stuff up in the school community. Each of these individual prompts you can copy and paste and use. For now, I'll just change this value to an expression. Click on the little icon here to expand out this field and paste in the tool use prompt right here. So we're going to create some tools for this agent. We're going to be building an MCP server that uses the Google Sheets n8n tools, and we'll be naming those tools just like this. So following this as a guide, we'll be able to set up our MCP server. But you can take a screenshot of this, drop it into ChatGPT, and have ChatGPT write up this prompt for you. Then you can copy it and paste it into your expression right here. We click outside the expression window. Let's go grab the data handling prompt. Same thing, change this to an expression, expand the expression, and grab this prompt right here. I'm going to make this a bit easier for readability. There we go. Take a screenshot, paste that in there. For the last one, just to an expression, expand this out, copy this prompt right here. Great. I'm going to click outside of the expression. We can test this step. This will set up all of our prompts nice and neat. And we can add the AI agent. I'm going to click the plus, select the AI agent. Let's change the chat trigger node. I'll drop this down, say define below. Now for the user prompt, we're going to add the text from the user. So from our text node, let's grab the text, drag and drop that right there. Under options, click add option. We want a system message. I'll change this to an expression, expand out the expression. Let's delete this simple prompt. Now I'm gonna grab one more prompt we can paste right here. This is just the basic role for this particular agent. All right, you can copy that, paste it in here. This is just giving the agent its role and its core capabilities, context awareness, and reading the time. So now we can enter in all of the prompts from our agent prompts node over here. Let's drag and drop the tool use prompt. I'll create some line breaks in here. We can add the data handling prompt and the behavior prompt, just drag and drop. Just adding some of these lines and adding these hashes here just so we can section off our prompts a little bit. Now, the way this reads out, we can see it read fully in plain text. All of the prompts inside of this AI agent with those linked, mapped in prompts. Cool, so that looks pretty good. I'm gonna click outside of the node. We're gonna add the chat model to the agent. Click the plus here. We're gonna use OpenAI. You can use whatever chat model you want here. I'll keep my same credential, and 4.0 mini is fine for this. Click outside of this node. We can add the memory node. For this, I'll just add simple memory. If you're using any of these other tools, definitely go for it. Add these in there, but simple memory is great for this context. Now we'll need the chat trigger here. I'll drop this down, click on define below, scroll down to the Telegram trigger, and we can grab the chat object, insert it in there. Click outside the node, and we can add the tool here. I'll click the plus. The tool we want is the MCP client tool. Choose that. Now we need to create our MCP server and paste in that endpoint right here. I'm gonna click outside of the node. Before we do that, click the plus. We'll add the last Telegram trigger so we can get a response back in Telegram. Telegram node we want is send a text message, and we'll need to get this information from the previous nodes. So I'm going to toggle off, just deactivate the MCP client. I'll test the AI agent by clicking the play button right here. Let's come into the Telegram node, and we can find the chat ID. We've got it in the text node right here, and the text we want to send back is the output from our AI agent. You can see it's already responding. Could you please provide more context or details about the audio? For additional properties, click Add Field, choose Append n8n attribution, toggle this off, click Test Step, and we can jump back into Telegram to see that message come through. Now we can play with the bot a little bit. I'm gonna jump into n8n. All right, back in n8n, let's go ahead and build that Google Sheets MCP server. So what we need, I'm gonna click the plus up here, type in MCP, we can find the MCP server trigger. This is that URL we need. So I'm going to choose the production URL. We can add authentication here, choose bearer off. For credential, for bearer off, we can drop this down, say create new credential. Now for a bearer token, you can create your token right here. Putting something in here to keep this connection secure. This is going to be something you need to do if you want to take something like this to production. Obviously, making sure security is a priority. Just going to add something super simple. Come up to rename this. I'll name mine token demo. Save it. Let's close down this window. And now we've got our token in here. That token is something you would share with others who you want to give access to. Same thing for the path. We can leave a path randomly generated like this, or we can create our own custom path. Just as an example, I'll type in custom path demo, and we'll see that custom path pop up in here. Great, so I'm gonna copy this production URL, just click on it, click outside of the node. Here is that MCP server, right? We can connect tools to it now. First, I'm gonna come down to the client tool. Let's re-enable this, activate it, double click back into it, and we can paste that server endpoint right there. For authentication, we can choose our bearer off, find our credential, token demo, there it is. For tools to include, this is going to be the tools that the MCP client can access inside of the MCP server. Click outside of the node. Great, now we can build our server with tools we want. I'll click the plus here to create a new tool. This could be Google Sheets, find my Google Sheets tool, and I'm already connected to my correct spreadsheet. Let's go build a new spreadsheet from scratch. So here I am in Google Sheets. I'm gonna build something pretty simple here. We'll get some header rows in here. I'll slide the first column, second column. For row 1, I'll call this record, and for the second column, I'll call this date. So now we have the record and the date that we're saving. Change the cell color and set the text to bold, just so we can see it a little bit better. Cool, I'm gonna name my spreadsheet Emory Bot Demo, and name the sheet down here. You can name it whatever you want. I'm just gonna leave it named as sheet 1. Let's jump back into n8n. Now we're gonna create a new credential here. Click on this, click on create new credential. Now with Google, if you haven't set up a Google credential for n8n, I have the tutorial for this as well. You can jump into the school community, watch the tutorial. Once you do that, you're able to sign in with Google. So I'm going to go ahead and sign in, choose my appropriate account, and you want to add permissions to n8n. I'll click continue here. Great. Let's rename this connection. I'll name it MemoryBot Demo. Save it, close this window. Now we're connected to that actual Google Sheet. I'm going to click outside of the node. We can follow our sort of plan that we have here, coming back into the agent prompts node. Let's look at the tool use. We're going to create these 3 tools, one called insert record, one called get records, and one called clear records. So our first one is for inserting records. I'll copy that, jump back over to the Google Sheets tool. We can name this tool, paste that right there. For the operation, we want to append row to insert a record. For the document, we can find our new spreadsheet, MemoryBot Demo, and for the sheet, whatever you named it, I left mine as default sheet 1. Now we have the fields coming in there, our record and our date. These are going to get automatically added by the AI agent through the MCP server. So we're going to click the button right here to let the model define the parameter, sending for the date. Great. So the AI agent is going to decide how to fill out these records in the actual sheet based on the user input and the prompts we gave it. So I'm going to click outside this node. Now something to focus on right here. This tool was automatically named insert record number 1. I'm actually following my finished workflow up here. So in the same canvas space, I have a tool called insert record. That means that this tool was automatically named insert record 1. Naming is fairly important here, so I'm going to come back into the AI agent prompts node right here, come into the tool use, expand this out, and change the name of that tool to insert record 1. That's just because the way I have this set up, that's the way that tool got named. The point to take away from this is your tool names have to match what you're calling in here when you're giving explicit tool instructions. So same thing right here. I'm going to be preemptive and just name these tools with a 1 just to be explicit in my naming. I'm going to click outside of this node, click outside, and we've got our first tool in here. Let's go ahead and add another one. We can just duplicate this insert record tool. Control or Command D will duplicate a node. This will be to get records. In case you forget your naming, we have the prompts over here. Just to re-emphasize, I'm going to grab this get records 1, copy it, rename this node. I'll right click on it, rename it, get records 1. Still will click on the node, connect it up, then double click on it. So I wanted to duplicate it just so we can save our same settings in here. We've got our connection, our document, and our sheet. But the operation we want to do is get our records. I'm going to choose the get rows operation. For now, I just want to get all of my records, so I won't add any filters or conditions. Let's click outside the node, and we can duplicate one of these tools. The struggle when your nodes pop up somewhere on your canvas and you have to go hunt for them. I'm going to connect up this node, right click on it to rename it. The third node here is called clear_records, and mine is going to have a 1 at the end. Click rename, double click into the node. For the operation, we're going to drop this down and say delete rows or columns. For this, make sure it's set to rows, and for the row number and number of rows, again, we're going to let the agent decide what we need to do with those based on the user input. Great, I'm going to click outside of the node. Guys, we are finished. We can fully test this thing. Let's give it a shot. I'm going to come up to save the workflow, activate the workflow, and we can jump into Telegram and give it a go. Here's my text. Hello, can you remember? And add to my list that I need to finish the MemoryBot demo. So I'm adding more precise language here just to be a little more explicit when first interacting with this bot. I'll send that off. And we've got our message back. I've added your task to finish the MemoryBot demo video. Let's go check out the spreadsheet. And there it is right there. Finish MemoryBot demo video with the date and time. Now, if you want to format the date, this is just a side note. Let's jump back into the agent. Double click into the agent in n8n. Expand out the system message. And for the date and time, we can add more to this expression right here. So after the word now, type a period. Choose this first setting, format. This is a function to format the date and time. We can see how that reads in plain English over here. There's the new date, so you can change the ordering. For example, let's say day, dash month month dash year 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 year. 4 years. 4 Ys to get the 4 year. Now if you want the time, or you can say T for time, or you can say TT to add the seconds. Feel free to play around with formatting here for the date and time, however you want to do that. I'm gonna leave it as that format right there, date and time. Cool, let's save that and test the audio. I'll come back into Telegram. All right, let's try something here again. Can you add to my list that I need to water the plants? There we go. I've added that task to your list. Come back into the spreadsheet and there it is, just like that. Can you show me everything in my spreadsheet? There we go. We've got those 2 things back just like that. So that is it, guys. Pretty cool stuff. Backing n8n, just to clarify some things here, when you're calling an MCP server from an agent. Obviously, we're cleaning up the tool uses that an agent can do. You could essentially build in all of these tools to the AI agent. That would work exactly the same way. This is a very basic example, but you can add in whatever tools you want in n8n and have access to everything inside of that MCP server. So that's it, guys. I hope you appreciated this video from me. I'm still getting better at my video creation skills and my content creation skills. So look forward to more videos from me in the future. If you guys want to check out the school community, it's called Digital Automation Diagram. We have the link in the description below. I look forward to seeing you in the group, and I'll see you in the next video.